What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Apocalypse Movies. This is another one of our all spoilers review, and we're going to be doing the recently released Bumblebee movie, part of the Transformers franchise, and we're still not sure if it's a reboot or a continuation. I guess they can decide to do whatever they want. Anyways, I am Jacob Bartley. I'm here with Jake Berlin and Brian Avalosino, and we're here to talk some Bumblebee. It's going to be heavy spoilers if you didn't know. If you haven't seen the film, come back and watch it when you have seen the film. So let's get into it, guys. So we were pretty excited for this film overall as a group. Mm-hmm. I remember, I think it was that second trailer when they showed
the G1
Cybertron and stuff. We were all super excited. I remember we were like, man, I don't know what I'm going to see first, Aquaman or Bumblebee, but luckily we saw an early screening of Aquaman and stuff. So I was pretty excited. I think you were more excited, Jake.
I was.
I remember we were walking into the theater. I was like, I'm pretty excited, but not as excited.
I started to get pretty juiced as the movie came, and it was obviously because we started to hear good things about it. No matter what the Transformers movie franchise has done, I've always been a Transformers fan.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love the first movie. And I really do dig the third movie as well, Dark of the Moon. And so I like what certain things do, and I was very excited the fact that Michael Bay wasn't returning. They were going back to a time period that was very fresh in the world of Transformers, if you will.
Exactly.
And the fact that they were focusing on Bumblebee, the one character that, other than Optimus, the one character that everyone was excited about and kind of looked forward to. And so there were positives all around it, and Haley Steinfeld and John Cena and everything like that. It just, everything seemed to fit into place, unlike other Transformer movies. Mm-hmm. And so I was just excited, and I'm not going to say that it exceeded my expectations, but it definitely met my expectations on certain levels.
For sure. Yeah, I was excited because of the director for the most part, Travis Knight. So I think it was 2 years ago when Kubo and the Two Strings came out, and I had watched that movie because it got great reviews, and it's a really good movie. And I was like, all right, comparing him to Michael Bay, this guy's going to focus on story, he's going to focus on character, he's going to make it small and, close-niched, and everything's very focused, and I felt like this movie was that. And I'm a huge Haley Steinfeld fan. I was Edge of 17, loved that movie. I think she's a great actress, and someone who, people know she's a great actress, but she's kind of under the radar as an actress right now, and I think she's just slowly gaining wins and going to improve upon that. And Bumblebee's a really good movie. I would say it's a really good movie, and I really liked it. I need to go back and rewatch the first one, because everyone's going to ask, is it the best Transformers movie ever? I need to go back and rewatch the first one. It's definitely the second best, hands down, in my opinion. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, it has things going for it that are better than the first one, so that's kind of how I feel about it. Really good movie.
I completely agree with everything you guys said. Travis Knight killed it. Absolutely killed it. It's funny because 5 seconds ago I would have said this is the best one, but then I started thinking in my head, well, but that was the first time we saw Megatron and Transformers, first time we saw all of them.
And that end battle scene in the first one is awesome.
So it would be a toss-up, but for me, I think I purposely kept my expectations low so that I wouldn't be disappointed.
Well, because it's a Transformers movie.
Yeah. But it blew him out of the water. So,
awesome.
I'm the opposite of Jake. Jake kind of, you said, what, you kept...
They met his expectations?
They met yours. Yeah. I kept mine low, so hopefully it would exceed it, and it definitely...
That's kind of where I hope that's kind of where I wish I was.
Yeah.
And it's partly my own fault, just because I was starting to get juiced myself. But
I remember talking to you before we walked in. You were super excited.
And so, and again, I'm not going to say that it's not an average movie. It's definitely better than an average movie. There's just pieces that I was hoping for that weren't really there. And it didn't take away from the movie altogether, because for the first time in a Transformers ever, the story takes place over everything. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it so great. And so, but that reason alone also is what kind of held me back a little bit in saying, this is the best Transformers movie ever, this is one of the best movies of the year, etc., etc.
Okay. So one question that I have been thinking about, going into it and afterwards, was, is this truly a Bumblebee movie? And I think it is, in the sense where, all right, he's the Transformer that has the most screen time. It's a Transformers movie, and he's the main Transformer. But do you guys think it focused enough on Bumblebee, and you got to know Bumblebee more? Did it succeed in that sense?
It's a Bumblebee movie.
Yeah?
It's 100% a Bumblebee movie.
I see where you're alluding to, but think it's Bumblebee.
It's a from start to finish, it's a Bumblebee movie. There's definitely shots and nods towards other stuff, but at the center of it all, Bumblebee is the one that is in 98% of the shots.
Yeah.
The reason that the movie ends up how it is because of Bumblebee. And so I have no doubt in my mind that it's a solely just spin-off of Bumblebee.
Yeah, no, I pretty much agree. I do. It is a Bumblebee movie, and I do, when I think about it from the beginning till the end and his character arc, it really does focus on him. But
Are you
this
saying
is something...
it's a Haley Steinfeld movie?
Well, pretty much.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's something you can't avoid in these Transformers movies. The human characters take a center role, and it's mostly because you can't do an all CGI movie.
You can, though.
You can,
but you better make.
You can, and that was one of
money
your.
Back.
Well, that was one of your
make,
flaws. You thought
those
the
movies,
opening scene should have been longer, which I think we could all agree.
No,
that
was Brian. That was Brian.
That opening
I
scene
it was
in
perfect.
Cybertron was
perfect.
awesome.
It was
freaking awesome.
No,
I love the way it looked because.
No.
You know what? The way it looked,
You're
it didn't look all like CGI. They kind of looked like they were toys in a way. You know what I mean? It had that.
Well, the high shots. You're talking about like the high shots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cybertron looked like almost real.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like,
looked
in
amazing.
some of the special effects in all the Transformers movies are usually always great, but like you can tell it's like animated, like kind of like a paint looking thing. But these looked like metal, or
they looked
like, or kind of how the toys used to.
It
look.
almost looked like motion capture
in a way. That's what I'm saying. So it looked really cool. And then who was it? Dylan O'Brien that voiced Bumblebee.
Yeah,
that was awesome. So the way his voice was, how he's like maybe like a young adult, like a 21-year-old.
Well, they said it in
Bumblebee's pretty young, right?
Well, they said he's only 2. He said
wow.
in Transformer years he's only 2.
But we
don't know how that
that's
translates
not like
as
human
far
years.
exactly,
yeah,
but
10.
Yeah, so he's
I would
let's say it's dog years. He's 14
exactly.
years
I was
old.
going to say we should equate it to
let's
dog
say
years.
he's 14 years old.
Yeah.
I mean that's
and he sounded like it.
And he has a lot of experience, obviously, even though he's 2. You can tell in that first scene that he has a lot of experience because he's a total badass.
Oh, the way he fights, dude, when he first comes on screen in that battle scene, it was awesome.
I will say that the Dylan O'Brien thing, I was pretty like, whoa, when it first popped up because in all the movies we don't hear his voice.
I love the way it mixed in with like the mechanical sound.
Yeah. It was just weird at first because we have never heard his voice. And so I was like, wow, that's really what he sounds like? Because the Bumblebee we know is experienced, he's hardened, he's been through all this stuff. Then we have to go back to ourselves and be like, okay, this was made in the 80s.
And he's an expert at using the radio to
Let's
talk.
say he's 14 years old, etc. So that was what his voice would sound like.
Yeah.
I will say that with the whole voice thing, I freaking hate that they make him lose the voice again. It bothered me so bad.
Well, you knew it was going to happen.
I didn't know it was going to happen that early. Like, I wanted to hear his voice and have him talking.
Yeah. I would have liked at least half the movie.
And if like, even whether they're doing just one Bumblebee movie or if they're doing a trilogy or whatever it may be, make him lose his voice in the second movie or the third movie. Like, give us a movie where he's legitimately talking. It would have been a lot of fun to hear his back and forth with Haley Steinfeld, specifically because he lost his memory. Like what he was saying.
Or what he was thinking at that time.
Exactly.
You don't even know what he's thinking when he...
And we see that he does the hand gestures and he does the radio play the whole thing into it. And, he's a brand new baby basically because his whole memory is gone. But it would have been really cool to kind of see him do a back and forth with a human character because all we really see is an Optimus and human character back and forth. And Optimus is a completely different kind of character. Like he's a noble, wise guy who says very few words. Bumblebee is probably like a loudmouth. He's like, what is going on? Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like,
he is like Dylan O'Brien.
Or he's like Tom Holland Spider-Man with the Avengers. Like, he's a young guy who doesn't know what to say. He talks a lot. Like, it would have been really cool to see that.
That's a good comparison,
I completely agree with you. Like, the whole thing was, like, to me, I could imagine Dylan O'Brien acting like Bumblebee acted.
It would have been so
I would have
cool.
liked to see him maybe half the movie talk at the very least. Like, if they're gonna show if they had to show him getting his vocal box ripped out, I would have at least liked him to talk more than
it's literally in like the first
minutes.
20 minutes, and then he doesn't even talk.
He doesn't talk once he
hits
hits
first
Earth.
battle scene.
No,
like he's not even talking at all, right?
No.
He's not even talking back to the other Transformers.
I don't think he talks once he leaves Cybertron.
Doesn't he say something to the soldiers?
Maybe
he does. Yeah, he says something, and then they start freaking out. They're like, "Wait, this thing can talk."
Yeah.
So I remember that. So that just leads me to think. So, what did you guys think of John Cena in this movie?
He was one of my.
I didn't mind him. It's a Transformers movie. We get these type of characters in every movie it's his role.
Yeah.
It's his role. I didn't think he did a bad job. It's what he was directed to do, the type of role. Honestly, he wasn't really given a lot to do.
True.
It was a lot
Very
of getting
true.
out of cars and walking,
getting back into cars,
running off camera away from Bumblebee, and so there really wasn't a whole lot to do.
I understand. There's a few moments, and I don't think he was terrible, but there's just a few moments where I'm like, oh my god, that was really bad. Just a couple.
The movie.
Just a couple. Not necessarily some.
Well, you don't think
more towards the middle
when he salutes them at the end?
It's whatever, but more towards the middle when they're chasing them, and he's like. They get back in the car and he's like, let's go, like just those type of moments. But like you said, what is that one line? Like you can't really judge.
He's
him
the
too
cliche
much.
character, and also we also have to remember that even though it's made in 2018, this is an 80s set movie.
Oh yeah,
you go back to the 80s movies, there are characters planted through those movies, like John Cena.
And that's one of my huge positives. Is it really felt like an 80s film?
Yes,
with the family. The family actually played a really nice role in the movie, and especially, you know what I loved they did with the family? They weren't just like damsels in distress at the end of the movie. They played a part in helping her and helping
that
Bumblebee.
car chase scene was pretty funny because the mom and dad are arguing back and forth, and the brother's in the background doing his thing, and he's just a funny little kid too.
The stepdad was pretty funny.
Yeah, and then the whole driving thing, and then the wife starts punching him at the end, But they played a pretty good role, and they were funny. And the wife is from Entourage, or not Entourage. She's from Californication.
That's right,
Californication. And so the son, he was really funny.
He was great.
His role, the way they kind of designed him as a character, was really cool too. How he played off of Haley Steinfeld.
At first, I was really annoyed by him, but then I remembered he's like a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah,
like that's exactly how a 10-year-old kid would act.
Stepdads are typically like these a-holes in these type of movies and characters that you don't like, and he was actually a pretty interesting character. Like, he's a total doofus too. He's trying to love the daughter.
Exactly.
They always try to be cool, like play the cool.
He was
guy.
literally just playing himself, trying to love the daughter, and
Exactly.
and the girl was just like Haley Steinfeld. Was
She was
just
just
like,
mad
get away
at
from
everybody though.
Yes.
Like, and she, So, what did you guys think of Haley Steinfeld? I mean, I think she was great.
She's great. She's
absolutely.
She was the perfect choice for this movie.
Yeah.
If they were going to focus it around a teenager, I'm really glad they went the girl route because it's a different perspective for us.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even though that she wasn't your typical la girl like Megan Fox was in Transformers, she had this hardness to her, and it came from her backstory of her losing her father. You know, we saw that she was this very prominent diver in school, and she had this like whole career, and it sucks that we didn't really get to see that side of it. We did a little bit, but I like the backstory they gave her, and she played off it well because she was very similar to Bumblebee, which was the point of it all. They were both lost, they were both alone, they found each other, they bonded really quickly, and that's why they became best friends. And then the whole side character with Jorge Lodenberg Jr., I want to say his name is, I believe. Yeah. His character was quirky at times, but I also liked the addition of him as well.
Yeah, he was cool. I think she was great, and at times I was like, damn, she's acting her ass off in this movie. Like, it's a Bumblebee movie, and she was like giving like really good performance. And I was surprised with the diving angle. Like, I love how that played into the end of the movie. How she had to dive in the water, and not that she saved Bumblebee, but like she was worried about him, so she had to jump in there to go make sure he's okay.
On a side note, just to touch on that final scene where she did dive, that camera work, where it's facing her, and then as she dives, it moves really quickly to follow her. It's such a technical thing that I would only notice.
Yeah.
Like it's such a beautiful shot because Haley's, and I don't know if it was her or not, which it probably wasn't, but the way the diver was, she like clinched up and then dove, like the way the camera was. It's just something I noticed. It's one of the few shots that really stuck out to me. But the diving angle was really cool, and I'm glad that they didn't go like the basketball route or the soccer route. It was something different that we don't see in a lot of movies.
Like, I don't remember any action movies where like her background is diving, and it wasn't just there for any sake. Like, it was there. There was played a part in the story, and in the middle when she didn't do it
off the cliff,
and then when she did do it at
on
the
that cliff scene, by the way, terrible CGI in that scene where the guy dove into the
Oh,
water.
really?
It was like a 10-foot drop that was supposed to be probably like a 50-foot drop.
Oh, wow.
He just like disappeared really quickly, but that's just a quick side note.
No, and one more thing about her character is I love how they established that she knows how to use tools and she knows how to work on cars. And I love that too many times in these movies they have the human character play a huge part in saving the world or whatever. All she did was run up a stair. She did a little small jump to the ladder, and then went up and popped this thing off the tool. That is all realistic stuff that was manageable for her but she did help save the world in doing so.
And it's
which
not
was
like
great.
It's not like Sam Witwicky in the first Transformers where he's got the box in his hand and he's running up flights of stairs from Megatron. Like, it gets like I love that movie,
but that's just unrealistic.
Yeah, like why would he be running from a Transformer where every one of the Transformer steps is 1,000 of our steps?
And then
it's so weird.
Some of the stuff Mark Wahlberg does in those last two
with the alien gun and
and the thing is, like, I love that because it showed me that you can have a human character participate in helping without making it unrealistic, and I really did like that a lot.
I like that she wasn't a damsel in distress.
That's a great way to put it. A great way to put it.
I like that she wasn't a damsel in distress, and I liked that she didn't need a man to fill.
Well, she was more like brave and taking action more than the male character.
I like that she wasn't a damsel in distress. I like that she didn't need a man to fulfill her. In that there wasn't a love story, and I love that there was no love story.
I mean, that guy obviously had a
he
huge
had
crush
but
on
it
was a high school crush.
Yeah, but it was
that
like
thing.
Exactly.
He had something for her, but she, I mean, up until maybe like the last second where they like touch hands, she didn't. Yeah, that was nothing even close to being on her mind. And
just like Rey and Finn in the Star Wars franchise. You know?
Oh God!
Same thing.
Just,
holy Lord!
They just like touch fingers. I'm avoiding it. And she just kind of like gets taken aback. But then she's like, "Oh, okay, maybe." Like, slow down, but maybe. I loved it because it wasn't another movie where the girl falls for the guy, saves the world, blah blah blah. No, it was this girl. This robot, they're working together. They become close friends. Oh, yeah, the neighbor is a dork that has a crush on her, but that's about it. Like, I loved that. And I kept said it over and over again. She wasn't a damsel in distress. She held her own. Was there ever not a damsel in distress in Transformers? Megan Fox held her own, but at the end of the day, she kind of needed Sam.
No, that first Transformer, she's driving the tow truck with its Transformer on the back when it's Rosie Huntington Whiteley that was the damsel in distress in the third one. Yeah. Hey, don't you ever knock a Sam Witwicky relationship with Megan Fox? That love story in the first one will get me every damn time. I'm telling you, man.
Oh man, for me, I thought the action worked really well too. Like Cybertron scene. And I liked...
Should have been longer.
I liked the battle between him and the first robot that he kills.
Yeah, when they first land on Earth, that one.
Oh, that one. Well, I like the end battle too.
Oh, the end battle
between him and the other
okay.
guy.
Yeah.
And that's the one who ripped out his voice box too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love the way he kills that
one.
When the chains wrap around. Yeah. And
so for me,
the one that Brian missed.
So for me,
what is his name?
First one?
The Decepticon?
No, he's talking
about the one at the end.
Justin Theroux.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah. Character. Yeah, the blue one.
He's talking about.
I'm talking about the one that ripped the voice box.
The one that looked like Star.
At the very beginning.
Oh.
When he first meets John Cena. The one in the mountains. That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, those weren't the same ones, huh?
No. Remember that one died. He blew up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So for me, I liked the action. The Cybertron scene.
Is Justin Theroux's Dropkick?
Yeah, he's that blue one.
Dropkick. Dropkick and Shatter.
So the Cybertron scene is unlike anything we've seen in Transformers. It is. It's unlike anything we've seen. It's the one thing.
Honestly, in movies, because you don't have a full like CGI thing that looks that good.
Well, so it's the one thing we've always wanted in this franchise is to kind of see that
we got a little taste
on the planet, and we got a taste of it. And then it follows with the scene of Bumblebee landing on Earth and then fighting a Decepticon that immediately follows him. And then it ends with Bumblebee fighting the two Decepticons that are coming after him to try to bring the Decepticons to Earth. My only issue is there's not enough action.
I agree. Throughout the whole movie,
there is action in the first 15 minutes, and there's action in the last 15 minutes. I will say this, the action that went on is absolutely gorgeous. Mm-hmm. The way that everything was done, it's not your gigantic clanking metal with high octane fireworks explosions.
So much, yeah.
It's not
coming out of grass.
Yeah, dude, don't even get me started on the Dinobots and the fact that in the fourth Transformers, a Dinobot rolls on the ground in the jungle and explosions happen. Like, why? Does not make sense. Anyway, I'm glad that there were no, like, fireworks shooting off of Transformers' backs because of explosions. The explosions happened for a reason. Mm-hmm. They were real. And they were also shot to a point where it's not the shaky camera. It's literally a camera on its way back. And you're seeing two guys just go blow to blow.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally fighting. And that scene you're talking about where he uses the chain and yanks it and he falls apart is awesome.
It's so good.
It is awesome. And there's also another great camera shot to where Haley Steinfeld's running and they're fighting in the background.
That one was...
It's in the trailer, but in real time, seeing the full thing, it's such a beautiful work. And Travis Knight, man, this guy can absolutely direct. I will follow anything he does in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and this was his first big live action thing, so we'll definitely have an eye on him.
Did you... Okay, so Steven Spielberg was an executive producer.
He is on all of them.
Do you think that he had a bigger role?
No.
No.
Oh, see, no,
I think he got a paycheck and that's it.
Really?
I think he's busy doing other stuff. I think he may have talked to Travis Knight a little bit, but I think this is completely and 100% Travis Knight's.
I do too, but I think he had way more input on this one because I got a lot of E.T. vibes from this movie.
Well, that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were going for.
Iron Giant, E.T.
Iron Giant is the big one, and fun fact, Brian has never seen the Iron Giant.
That is great to know.
Let's just shoot down in the comments and give him hell down there, guys. Please.
Just like everything else.
I have the DVD.
Yeah, so no, and that's a good thing to go off of because we talked about the 80s vibe. The connections that were kind of going on and just the Iron Giant feel, the E.T. feel, that's what this franchise has needed to go back to. They were trying to create something with all of those other movies, and they just recreated something in a different form, and it's sitting at a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's the Transformers movie that everyone has been wanting. It's going to lead to other Transformers that we want, because they just recently came out and said that they're possibly developing an animated, and I don't know what they're using as far as animated or CGI, but an animated Cybertron movie showing the origins. And then also, they're trying to work on an Optimus Prime movie, but they can't decide how it's going to work because he's kind of a hard guy to tell a story on without everyone else around him.
True.
Because he's kind of a leader, and he leads people, and so an individual story would be hard. But the success of this one and how they developed it and how they did it is already leading to other stuff that we want to see.
Yeah, I agree. And I honestly, now, the more that I think about it, this might be my favorite Transformers movie. And to be honest, I'm not a huge Transformers guy. Like, I liked it as a kid, and I remember having the toys, but it wasn't like one of my top 5 favorite things that I liked. And so this is making me more of a Transformers fan.
This movie got me back on Transformers' side.
Well, you guys seem to know a lot about it. Like, I don't know any of the side character names, like the Transformer names or anything that. So what did you guys think of the 2 villain characters?
Dropkick and
they didn't really have much. No, they don't need development.
They serve the purpose.
Annette Bening's character was pretty...
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett, excuse me.
Her voice acting was great.
It was good.
She did a good job.
It was menacing.
She did a really good job.
I liked her. I liked Blitzwing.
That was the first one that ripped his voice box.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay. So who's the other one that the one on the second half of the movie? Like
Dropkick.
Dropkick is the blue one.
Okay.
Shatter is the red one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the partners at the very end that came flying.
Yeah. So for me, one thing that I really appreciated is, like, even though a lot of kids are going to see this movie, right? I don't care if it's a robot. You sliced one in half.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's brutal for a kid to watch.
And that's a big Transformer.
This is a live being, and he got sliced in half. Then, even though it was kind of funny, the way they were blowing up the humans.
It was like gel. Like, they put him into gel or something.
I was like, and he's like, I like the way they pop. Like, what?
Like a pimple.
Even though that guy had to go. Like, and I don't know, the scientist too, I guess, at the end.
Was it John Ortiz, the guy that was like on the Transformer side before he realized that they were bad? That character was like, meh. He's like the one meh part of the movie.
I was hoping he was going to pop.
Yeah, he was like, whatever.
Yeah, it's just so funny how, like, no blood, just they just like boop.
I was fine with that.
Totally like gel.
Well, it was interesting. It was new, and we don't know. Like, it could have. That's exactly how it could happen.
I just imagined like it was like a sound wave, and then just
And if that was blood, it would have been rated R. Like, even things like that really make it rated R because if you remember, like, the first Avengers got rated R rating at first because when Loki stabs Coulson, and then it goes through and they show blood. They got it already, and all they did was change that one thing and back to PG-13. Right. So I'm assuming just that blood would have made it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I do appreciate them taking PG-13 as much as they can.
Oh, yeah.
Because we also have to remember that if giant robots came to Earth and they were trying to kill us, it wouldn't be nice.
No.
Yes.
It would not be nice. And so you have to keep it realistic, because if it wasn't, we'd be sitting here being like, that's not how they would kill us.
Exactly. I completely forgot about Rampage getting cut in half.
Yeah, dude.
When I saw that, I was like...
Honestly, that impacted me more than the humans getting blown.
Oh, me too.
Because I was just like,
100%.
What? Like, they could have just blasted him and cut away, or something. But they should have showed him get sliced in half.
Like, Transformers character.
Like a popular one?
Yeah.
From the shows and stuff? Yeah, awesome.
There's so many more popular ones.
I mean, overall, we like this movie. Mm-hmm. We like it to really like it. Is there any other big negatives that stand out to you guys?
John Cena was annoying to me. I liked when he was serious. I didn't like when they tried to give him
the one line is don't run away. She ran. Like that type of stuff didn't.
And they showed in the trailer like it's not even funny.
Yeah, like
I thought he was going to be like hardcore bad, kind of like Josh Duhamel's. Like
that's what we wanted. Yeah,
that's what I was kind of like anticipating. Maybe even like a little bit tougher. But I got, like, cheesy rock vibes.
Josh Duhamel was always one of the great parts of the Transformers movies, and recreating him is very hard. Too. Yeah, that's right. And recreating him is very hard, and so...
I don't think this was meant to be that, though.
I think they're just going for that 80s feel, and this is what the 80s movies did. This is exactly what the kind of 80s movies did.
Yeah, and I think John Cena has a place in Hollywood. Like, he deserves his chance.
I personally really enjoy him.
Yeah, he's pretty...
So, like...
Trainwreck, a horrible movie, but he was funny in it.
For the opening, that scene when he's having...
But I'm saying, this is the perfect role for him. Like, there's no denying that. Like, military guy in an 80s Transformers movie.
That's
a perfect role
actually,
for him.
I'll say that this is a nitpicky negative, but this is a negative. He should have freaking been a G.I. Joe. He should have been... They didn't even have to reference it. They could have literally put G.I. Joe on his vest for people to see or not see.
Say anything.
And just be there, and it would have been the best thing ever.
Or like something at the end, like he opens up some briefcase or something.
Yeah, like a post-credit scene.
Yeah, something like that.
Because we know they're doing movies. We know that and Hasbro got the rights to G.I. Joe and Transformers. We know what's going to happen. Just put G.I. Joe and Transformers together. Just do it.
Well, that's a perfect fit. It really is.
Well, if they're going to have human characters in it, why not?
Exactly. Because you have to focus on human characters in Transformers movie, right? So why not make them G.I. Joe? You get the best of both. Can you imagine like a straight up like crossover, like a war movie with G.I. Joe and Transformers?
They keep using these government agencies like Sector 7 and stuff.
Ones, yeah.
Just call it G.I. Joe. Literally just call it G.I. Joe.
See, I'm upset. I don't want that.
Dude,
that makes sense. There's some crossovers I'm like, don't ever put Power Rangers in the Transformers, please.
I think you're fine with that.
Please don't. Dude,
Brian, can't you just imagine? We had Power Rangers vs. Superman, we have Godzilla vs. Kong, G.I. Joe vs. Transformers.
Well, if you do it like that, but I don't want to see, like, I don't know, just like, oh, hey, there's G.I. Joes, let's tell their story. Oh, along with the Transformers, let's tell their story.
I think it would be cool.
I think it'd be perfect.
I think it would be awesome.
It'd be interesting.
On that note, let's go ahead and wrap it up unless you guys have some finishing thoughts.
No, we're good.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our Bumblebee spoiler discussion. That was pretty fun. I was surprised by this movie. I was looking forward to it, but I didn't have it on my radar as like being... Honestly, it's one of the best movies of the year.
I was happily surprised.
So it is. Like, one of the best blockbuster films of the year.
I was done with Transformers up until this. This started me up.
You know what it did? Now we're excited for the next one.
Okay, wait. I do have one more thing.
Which is great.
Prequel or reboot? What do you think?
This is a prequel. 100%.
Really?
Yeah,
I think it's a soft reboot.
I think it's a prequel.
I mean, I don't know enough about
the lore, but what's your definition of a soft reboot? That's still the same storyline.
Like they're like kind of going to use the same...
So like the X-Men First Class movies?
No. I'm thinking...
those are soft reboots.
Kind of.
If you're talking about that, then that's what that is.
I think it's more or less going to be... You're going to see characters used in the other ones, like Megatron and Starscream.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're going to tell a different story.
So then he's basically saying a reboot.
X-Men.
I think personally can be more a reboot because the only thing that didn't make sense to me was the end when all of them are flying to Earth.
This is the one thing I said coming out of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing that stuck with me.
I don't know
the
much
most.
about it, but can't you just say they came back to Earth again? Like
you could,
because they've
that's
already
the
been
only
here,
thing.
right? Like when in the first one, they're all these random electronics are Transformers.
No, not just that.
Right?
But remember, Sector 7 had Megatron iced up in the first movie.
Yeah,
That's true.
Oh,
They had him iced.
and then
he
like,
was on ice.
But there's like random. Oh, isn't there a device that turns them all like all
it's
the
the cube,
electronics
the
into
cube, the
okay.
Allspark,
Yeah,
which
okay.
Optimus has.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Anyways, I'm sure we could talk about this all
That's
day.
a whole nother.
Yeah,
monster.
I think it's a reboot. If you're asking me, that's what I think, and I don't know much about it, but I think it's a reboot. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you.
I'll
Jake.
say it's a reboot. Cool.
There we go. Official.
I mean,
It's a reboot.
pretty much.
All right, thank you guys for getting on this. I'm your host, Jacob Barley. Jake, Brian. Thank you all for listening. Let us know in the comment section, spoilers away, what you thought of Bumblebee. And the debate, is it a prequel or a reboot? We definitely need to know that. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you guys next time.